I've been changing my own oil in my garage for over 25 years. The only time I didn't change my own oil is when I lived in an apartment or a dormitory and I didn't have access to a friend or relative's garage where I could do the oil change. I really think you should change your own oil too. Here are 12 reasons why I think you should change your own oil. Number one, to save money. You can buy just really cheap oil, say the Supertech oil at Walmart. I do recommend getting synthetic oil nowadays because it's already really cheap. But buy the super cheap oil and you can save approximately 50% over going into a shop and having the shop do the oil change. Number two, you can avoid an upsale. When you go in to do your oil change, they may try to upsell you. For example, you might send your son or daughter or significant other to get the oil change done because you don't have enough time, and they come back with a new set of wipers for $75 that you have to pay for when you just replaced the wipers 2 months ago. Number three, as an alternative to saving money, you can use better oil and filters if you do your own oil change. Many oil change shops just use the cheapest oil that they can buy and call it good enough. Even if it says full synthetic oil, it's the cheapest full synthetic oil they can get by with to put in the engine. If you want your engine to last a long time, using a better synthetic motor oil is a good idea. When you change your own oil, you could buy a better synthetic motor oil and probably still save money on your oil change. Since you will probably be saving money if you do your own oil change, you can change your oil more often. That's reason number four. Changing oil more often is more important than buying the best quality oil. You can use the super cheap Supertech stuff at Walmart, change the oil 3-4 times a year, every 3,000 miles, and you would be much better off than buying the super ultra premium oil and changing it once a year. And this is true with all cars. By the way, as a rule of thumb, and lots of mechanics have recommended this, change your oil every 6 months or 5,000 miles, regardless of what the owner's manual says. Your engine will last a lot longer as a result. By the way, if you have a heavy-duty diesel truck, one of the commercial, quality diesels, Cummins or something like that, you probably should do every 3 months or 3,000 miles because the diesel gets particulates in the oil and that can cause wear. Reason number five, you can use the same oil and filter every time. Now, the filter isn't so important to use the same one every time, but the oil is. You see, oil is made up of a base oil and an additive package, and different oil companies use different additive packages for different marketing and reasons why they want to have a particular type of oil. If you use the same oil every time, that additive package will work the way it was intended. If you keep changing oils, the additive packages can actually cancel each other out in some cases, and it takes a couple oil change to flush out all the old oil. You see, when you do an oil change, you don't flush all the oil out, you flush most of it out, but there's still some left, and the old additive package from the old oil you had in there before might not be compatible with the new oil and the new additive package that you have. So sticking with the same brand and the same type of oil every time is really a good idea so that those additive packages that are included in all modern motor oils work properly the way that they were intended. Reason number six, you can learn some new skills. Oil changing is one of the best ways to learn how to do car maintenance. It's a very simple procedure that almost anyone can do, and it's a good way to get a start on learning how to do car maintenance yourself. So I really encourage you to change your own motor oil to learn some skills about how to maintain your car. Reason number seven, you can buy more tools. Who doesn't like a bunch of tools? I don't know any person that's willing to do an oil change that doesn't like to buy more tools and have more tools for any situation and to be a handy person. So yeah, buying more tools, kind of fun. Number eight, you can get a new oil plug gasket on your oil plug every time. Sometimes when you take it in for service, they're in a hurry, they don't want to spend time, they just reuse the old oil plug gasket, sometimes called the crush washer. That's not exactly the best thing to do. They do leak after a while, or they can leak after a while, or not properly seal, so you should replace them every single time. Now, some places will do that, but not every place. So I say do it yourself, replace it every time. You can get the oil plug gaskets usually really cheap if you buy them online. For example, for my car, I can buy a bulk set of 10 roughly at about 19 cents a piece. So it's worth just replacing those gaskets every time. Reason number 9, you can install a Fumoto oil valve. This is a Fumoto oil valve, and it's a ball valve, and it's made to go into the oil pan with a gasket on it. And you just turn this, I got to get it the right way, and then it will drain the oil out. And people say, oh, but you don't get all the oil out. Well, yeah, that's true, but you never get all the oil out anyways, and I've never had trouble with them. They've sealed and they lock. You don't want to install a Fumoto oil valve if you bring it in for oil changes, because more than likely they're not even going to use the oil valve the way it was intended. They're just going to twist it off and put in a different gasket that's not suitable for the brass that this oil valve is made of. So yeah, it's good if you're doing your own oil changes, but not so good if you bring it in for service. Reason number 10 to change your own oil is to get off the couch and unplug from all your electronics and whatnot. Getting out and doing things actually feels good, and it makes you a little bit more active, and that's a good thing. Reason number 11 is knowing who to blame for mistakes. I've made mistakes on changing my own oil. One time I forgot to put the oil cap back on, drove around and then thought, gee, did I forget to put the oil cap back on? I looked under the hood, and sure enough, I had forgotten to put the oil cap on, and boy, was there a mess of oil all over the engine, and it took me a lot of cleanup, but I learned a lesson, and I knew who to blame for the problem. It wasn't blaming somebody else and going to a shop, and they said he did it, she did it, whatever it is, and they don't want to take blame for it, and they don't want to pay for it. You can do it carefully, you can do it the right way, and you know who to blame if something goes wrong. Reason number 12 to change your own oil is the do-it-yourself satisfaction. You feel really good about yourself when you do it yourself. You know it's done right, and you can do it often. It's just a great idea to maintain your own car yourself. You'll feel much better about yourself. So good luck. I hope you learn to change your own oil. Look for more videos in the future, and hey, in the comments, put some comments on topics that you would like to see me do.